everybody. It's nice to see all these faces tonight. We'll call the meeting to order. This meeting of the Ripon Area School District Board of Education has been properly noticed in accordance with the open meeting law in state statute 19.84 and related legal references. Statement of our district vision is one of Wisconsin's finest school districts, fostering excellence for all through innovation. First thing we have up is we're going to do the recognition from Murray Park first tonight.
All right, today we're here to talk about wellness days that we have at Murray Park. We have 3 wellness days a year, fall, winter, and our big one in the spring. Those started in 2023 and were a result of teaching the Wisconsin standards around mental health literacy. It really gives the students an opportunity to engage in strategies and be proactive with mental health. It's also meant to reduce the barriers and let kids really see what mental health and wellness is all about in a positive setting. So we're gearing up for our May, our one in May, and that's our biggest one. We have community partners that come in, and we do different stations, and they have, it's really just a really great time. So I have Calliope and Ellie with me here today, and they're going to talk about some of their favorite activities that they've had, that they've done during Wellness Day. Calliope, you want to go first? You do want to go first? Oh, Ellie.
No. I like the nature walks in the morning packets. The nature walks. I feel like I just love nature, and I feel like nature is my getaway place. I love to just, be outside. And then the coloring packets, it just helps me calm down and get ready for the rest of the day. I like doing the common crafts because they help us focus and be ready for the rest of the day and the fun things that we're going to do. And I like how we get to bring our stuffed animals and we can play with them sometimes, and we do activities with them, and we have a really good time over there.
We really try to build a culture of wellness at Murray Park, and this is including all students. Last spring, we even had a teacher wellness station, so we worked it out so that all the grown-ups could go through a wellness station as well, just to prioritize mental health and keep that conversation going so that students can speak up when they need some help. Anybody have any questions?
That's awesome. Thank you. Now we have Mr. K. There's a lot going on at the high school right now that looks exciting.
We do have a ton going on, and let's start with FBLA. All right, Mrs. Schmidt could not make it, so I'm pinch hitting, and I'm going to call everybody up here. They're going to introduce themselves and what you participated in.
I'm Melissa Bradley, and at state I competed in Intro to Social Media Strategy with my group, who isn't here, but we qualified for nationals.
My name is Alina. I competed at state level in the business ethics category along with my group in
My name is Sadie Baker, and I competed in the sales presentation at state this year.
My name is Adeline Baird, and I competed in the public service announcement this year.
I'm from the
My name is Jocelyn Baker. I competed in the broadcast journalism category with my group, and we qualified for nationals. My name is Star Walker. I was in Dawson's group, so. Probably, I was also in that group.
Is there anyone else who made it to nationals that we need to recognize? Okay, just two.
Where is nationals this year?
Very good. San Antonio.
Enjoy the river walk.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, well done.
Another group we will recognize in May, that will be robotics. We took third in state this last weekend. And we'll be going to Worlds. And I will explain a little bit about that, or maybe just take care of it. Coach, let's do wrestling. Or am I doing that too?
Go ahead, you're on a roll.
All right. Competing at state, representing Ripon, is Owen. Let's go, Owen. You are the goal.
Sorry.
Let's get him a coach.
Owen, can you tell us a little bit about your experience at state?
For it being my third year, it's pretty different compared to the tournaments I've been at all year. It was a lot, competition was a lot better. Just like the environment in general, like, it's very different, and very cool.
So it was your first time at the state, correct?
Yep.
So out of the 33 years of competing, first time there?
Yep.
Just smaller mats. Everything was a little bit smaller and a little bit cozier, right?
Seemed like it, but
So was it more intimidating to go to that or come here and talk about it?
gotta go there. Several thousand people there.
Yeah.
And you're a junior?
Yep.
Okay, so
Great.
we can expect you to go to the
You'll be back next year here then, right?
It's expect a place, not go.
Great job.
Yeah.
All right, and then we had two league field trips. Two groups that are going to kind of share their experiences. Let's start with the music trip. What you said?
So I guess we could do a first little this high school music department update for stuff that's after we got back from San Antonio that we've still been doing. Our jazz groups have been really busy. The vocal jazz choir went up to Wausau a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we went up for the UW Stevens Point Vocal Jazz Festival. Second year we've done that. Non-competitive, just a really cool experience for them to get to perform with a live rhythm section. We use Mr. Harrison and some student instrumentalists, and they all get to perform one to a microphone, which is super cool. So we did that and got to work with the guest artist Take Six there.
And then the high school jazz band just got back on Saturday from the University of Wisconsin Eau Claire Jazz Festival. And we competed against 11 other schools. We took second place there. That's absolutely pretty cool.
Great.
And then we have state soul ensemble coming up this weekend. We probably have 30 or 40 band students planning, performing at that.
I think we've got about 11 choir students, which is about half of the singers that went to solo ensemble this year.
Yeah, so lots of busy stuff.
And on top of that, too, WSMA, we had 3 students audition and get accepted into the Wisconsin School Music Association's honors ensembles. One for a jazz band, Nora Waleko, and then Lil Rosh and Alyssa Manuel in the treble choir. So it's a really prestigious thing for them to participate in the following school year. Yeah.
So over spring break though, we took about 30 students to San Antonio, which is kind of funny because the FBLA should be.
Yeah,
just going around.
Yeah, we'll have to go back. It was really, really warm. I mean, we got there at 93, so it's kind of like a shock. We got off the plane and went straight to Mission San Jose. This is the biggest one. And it was really, really cool just to walk. That one picture on the right is in a church there, and the acoustics, they had like this sort of music going on in there, just like from a speaker, but it sounded really cool craftsmanship. You can keep going with John, keep her. And then later that night, we went to the Hard Rock Cafe. Really cool spot for the kids, you know, just
Right on
even
the
like,
Riverwalk.
yeah, buying the classic shirt, Hard Rock Cafe. The Riverwalk was back there, then, yeah, Six Flags, we spent an entire day
9.5 hours.
at Six Flags. That was one thing that they really, really wanted to do. And it was very warm, but most people had a very good time. A couple people maybe got a little
Forgot to
nauseous.
get one, yeah.
The Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. So we were hoping to kind of do what that car is doing in the picture and be able to like feed the animals, but unfortunately we just were on the bus the whole time. But it was still really cool. They had each different part was sort of another region of like Africa and stuff like that. So that's some sort of more exotic animals that you might not see.
Student in there with a bird.
Yeah.
And then right down the street was the Natural Bridge Cavern, so we took a really cool cavern cave tour
Yeah.
as well.
Really great. And then we always perform when we're down there, so we got to be downtown San Antonio at this Pearl Market. In that bottom right one, that's that kind of crowd that we were playing for. There's a lot of
Big number
people.
of people.
And we just basically took marching band instruments, and then the choir had like a speaker with some backing tracks going for some of their performance. So that was a lot of fun. Really windy that day. Dinner at like an authentic sort of Mexican
Yeah,
restaurant.
I think one of the original restaurants on the Riverwalk there.
Yeah, and we took a ghost tour. Started at like 8 p.m. I think or something like that, and they took us all to haunted places,
Yeah.
the hotels.
There's another one of that.
The Alamo is like a big part of a lot of like the ghost sort of stories around there with how many people died during those battles and stuff. The Menger was a hotel, and then yeah, the Alamo, we got to spend probably
Couple hours there in the morning.
2.5, 3 hours at the Alamo. I got to go there when I was in high school too. It is a really, I mean, as much as like you just walk around, but it's got some really, really cool historic things to see for the students, so they really enjoyed that. This was a surprise place that we had no idea what we were going to really get, what it was going to be, but it was very pretty. Koi ponds, waterfalls, just really cool landscaping and a lot of flowers and stuff like that at this place.
And then we got a boat tour of the whole Riverwalk, so we got to drive around on the boat and kind of see all of the monuments and a little bit of history behind the Riverwalk as well, which the kids really like.
Yeah, the Riverwalk.
Did you sing on the boat?
We should have.
The Riverwalk was probably the highlight for most of the
Yeah.
kids. They just like to hang out down there. It is a really cool thing, you know, a lot of shops. The arcade, bowling alley, there's a rock wall on the right there, students climbing, playing, they're driving some race cars, they had bumper cars and all that stuff. And then we ended up, before we went home, at the zoo. One cool thing I think for the students, a lot of them was their first time ever flying. We had so many students that they never had been on
Maybe
an
even out of
airplane.
Wisconsin, yeah.
Our travel company that we worked with, this is our second trip we've taken with them. It's a lot of retired or just people that switched from being band or choir teachers to this sort of new profession to help bands and choirs take trips.
Yeah, our tour guide is a retired choir teacher, and she just had lots of great things to say about how respectful the kids were and how easy it was for her to be with us for the extended weekend.
No issues on the trip. And,
Yeah.
it was really fun. Weather was very nice. So that's our highlight from our San Antonio trip for the band.
Awesome.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and cut one tonight? All right, but we do have one left, and that is our trip to Ecuador.
Just like 3 minutes ago, I added you into it too. Are you able to check your email? We shared it with both Katie and Travis.
High school's been very busy.
Yeah, actually. Sorry to spend the time, and where to share it. Well, she was there. Our trip, our patience was tested from the beginning because we were supposed to fly out on the day of Blizzard Elsa. And we thought we had beat the system. We had gone a day early to Chicago and were at the airport on time and watched the plane go from delayed an hour, delayed 2 hours, delayed 3 hours, canceled completely. So we enjoyed an extra, how many hours in?
13 hours in Chicago airport.
Exactly, here we go. But to our students' credit, they handled it like champs. We ended up being divided into 3 separate groups, all flying out at different times with different chaperones. We arranged it so that a Spanish speaker and a science person went with each group, except for Profe Yednek went with the first group, and we all made it there about 48 hours late. And the first day.
Yeah. So we went to Quito and got to see the equator, which is on my bucket list. Let's see, and the group before us, because we got there late, got to tour parts of Quito. Go to the next step.
The second day was like an unbelievably packed schedule because we were basically in Ecuador for 5 days, 4 nights.
It was supposed to be 8 days.
It was like a long weekend basically for us. So these were some highlights of our trip on our second day. Probably one of the highlights for all was visiting a community called Palacio Real, which is run by native Andean women who would cater to tourists. They gave us a tour of their sustainable farming methods. They served us delicious food, including llama. And we celebrated Sean's 18th birthday. We toured a chocolate factory.
Got to make guinea pigs that they raised for food.
The look on Kendra's face may have to do with the fact that they told us that every 8 days, the guinea pigs are moved up to their next life stage.
Oh.
So basically, they don't exist very long in their captive life before they're sold for special occasion meals.
So Ecuador is high elevation, so there's some snow-capped peaks. We got to see from a distance. We didn't get too high up, but it was definitely high enough to notice when we were hiking around in just the low oxygen. So yeah. This was where the picture at the bottom with everybody in garments. That was the location of the world's Guinness World Record for the largest wooden spoon. And then we just happened to get a dance lesson there as well. And they put us in the garb skirts and ponchos. Some of us were made to wear even more embarrassing wear.
I'm sorry I didn't put that one in there.
Oh, darn it.
It involved furry chaps.
Yes.
Oh.
A knitted face mask.
Yes.
Then we went, last day we went to the national park, did a lot of hiking there, very beautiful. Not what you think, I guess for me, thinking of what the Andes were gonna look like, this is not what I expected, but it was very beautiful. We got to see a lot of wildlife. Definitely different than our trip to Costa Rica. It's less tropical, I guess.
Yeah. It was probably warmer here that Friday when all the snow melted. When it got to be 70 degrees here, we heard that was warmer than what we experienced in Ecuador. Ecuador was pretty temperate, and just a great big thank you because despite all the headaches at the beginning of the trip, it was wonderful. We could have asked for a better group of kids. They participated in everything. There was not a single person who went to the side and didn't participate in dancing, for instance. And this just shows like this was our last evening, and we went into a open space, a plaza with different restaurants in front of the cathedral in Cuenca, and we were such an attraction that people asked us to add to our selfies. So if you look at like the corners of the photos and the front of the photo, like we have no idea who those are. They were just a sight to see, and they asked. They were very polite. They asked to join our group group selfie, and that was just an example of kind of that stands for the whole trip of everyone was such good sports and went with the flow of things and learned so much.
Minimal moping.
Yeah, truly.
How many students were there?
26 and 5 chaperones.
So yeah, thank you.
Middle school.
Okay, so now we're going back to middle school. So this is a makeup highlight, so this was supposed to be last month, so this is a middle school highlight. We have a video for you, but just to give you a little background. This is from the last 2 years we've done developmental designs framework in the classrooms and school-wide. So each classroom, each teacher does classroom agreements with every student in our school. And then the grade levels do that between the whole grade level. And then this year, we decided to take it kind of one step further. And we had students and teachers nominate student leaders. So there's 3 student leaders from each grade to make kind of whole school agreements for common areas. And then also looking at the students can help us problem solve some common problems middle schoolers face for themselves and as a whole middle school. And then also how can we incorporate a little more fun and bring the whole school together. So the middle school students made this video, and that's all the background information you need, so enjoy.
I'm in grade 9, 6th grade. I'm in Ryan, I'm in 6th grade. I'm in Harrison, I'm in 6th grade. Hi, my name is Taylor and I'm in 7th grade. Hi, my name is Anna and I'm also in 7th grade. Hi, my name is Megan and I'm in 7th grade. I'm Ramsey, I'm in 8th grade. Hi, my name is Brayden and I'm also in 8th grade. Hi, my name is Molly and I'm also in 8th grade. Our goals of the group are to get student input on problems around the school and help set reminders to the students. A couple of other goals of this group are to find good ways to involve kids and get input on decision making. One of our concerns is that people in our school are not prepared for class. We believe one of these reasons is organization with lockers and desks. If lockers are dirty, they might have a hard time staying prepared for class. If your desk is dirty, when the bell rings, you might forget something important. We think a way the student leaders can help us promote positively and give reminders to our peers to do the right thing. The student leaders have made some posters to help remind others to do the right thing and get to class on time. Another concern was students being off task or not following directions. This feeling like talking when the teacher's talking or not having homework done on the due date. A couple solutions to this are moving away from friends, taking a short spot, and avoiding distractions. A couple more solutions are limiting fidgets, follow redirections, more web leader involvement, and getting involved in the school. We want to promote the school's 3 values through posters: respect, citizenship, and responsibility. We create the posters to encourage students to act on their values. These are hung in prominent spots around the school where the students would see them on a daily basis and give them ideas of how to follow the 3 values. Student leaders have come up with great ideas to help students in the school with some students might be happy. Student leaders have been working to fix school problems because they know ways to help, like personal experience in the school.
Now we'd like to introduce our new high school principal, Mr. DeBrew.
Thanks, everybody. It's good to be here tonight and not under 30 inches of snow, like the last night I tried to attend. Again,
just a pleasure to be here. Again, I've seen a lot of familiar faces today, spent some time in the district. Thankful to Mr. Kinziger for taking some time to meet with me and just open up that road to talk and ease the transition. And thank you to Ron and the folks in HR. It's been a really positive day. I can't tell you how excited I am for next year. Obviously, I've got important work to do over the last 6 weeks back at Gibraltar, but really looking forward to working with the team at Ripon and being part of this school community. And I have to say, this is the most positive board meeting. Not that the other ones are bad, but just there's a real attempt to embrace and honor what kids are doing. And that speaks well of this community and this school district. So anyway, just excited to be with you, if even briefly tonight, before I head back to the land where there's still snow. Any questions or any?
Welcome.
Yeah, well,
Nice to meet you.
thank you. Does anybody else have any questions for Jim?
How much snow do you still have?
You know, I could say my yard is finally clean, but the poor folks in Ephraim, I don't know if you saw the story, that Highway 42 was closed for a couple days. And so it's still stacked up pretty high and shady. So you gotta work at it now, at least this week. We're almost clear. And I think we have a 10-day forecast free of flurries for the first time.
All right.
Should be good.
It's almost tourist season.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
a few of them have come and made illegal U-turns already, so they're on the way. So.
Thank you for coming,
Thank
Jim.
you.
Well, thanks everybody. Good to see you all. Look forward to seeing you all soon.
Oh, and our last recognition, I believe, is a Board of Education oath of office.
How you want to do this, Katie?
Stand up and read it out loud.
In front of everybody?
Yeah, yep.
Are you ready? Not to make a big deal out of this.
Alright. I, Preston Benson, who has been duly elected to the Board of Education of the Ripon Area School District, but not yet entered upon the duties thereof, swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability, so help me God. Thank you.
David and Tom were also elected, and they chose to do theirs privately. So.
There you go.
Thank you too.
Oh. Thank
We'll
you.
see you next Monday.
Thank you.
Is this all your entourage here?
Oh yeah, you know. Thank you.
Good to have paparazzi.
Absolutely.
Just, you know, the excitement. Don't worry.
Come on, okay. Any written comments?
No.
Public comments? Anyone want to make any changes to the agenda? No, we'll accept the agenda as written. Announcements of contributions to the district?
Yes. So the following donations were made to the district in the past month. From Alliance Energy Foundation, a donation of $1,000 to the Ripon High School Robotics 2026. team, excuse me. From Badger Sporting Goods, a donation of $745 to Mental Health Awareness Night. And from St. Peter's Episcopal Church, a donation of $250 for care packages for students experiencing homelessness. So we thank our community for their generosity.
That's great. Next up, Emily.
Before you start, Emma,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a suggestion that when there's this many people and whatnot here, that we should adjust the order and have you go first, just so that they can hear what's going on in the high school, in addition to all the recognitions, but have a good understanding of what might be coming up as well. So
That's a
it's
great
a spot,
Yeah,
but-
no, that's a great idea.
and then you can get out of here that much quicker.
Something like that maybe. But yeah, a lot of the things that I'm gonna go over, we kind of already talked about. But we had a lot of testing going on the past couple months. We had state testing and then also the ACT, which the score's already out for that. And then FBLA, like we stated before, we had all the groups up here. I just think it's important to note that Claire Walker, Jocelyn Baker, and Stacia Spalding, this will be their second time attending nationals, and they are just juniors, so they still got 1 year to go. And then it'll be Alyssa Bradley, Stella Pomplin, and Lily Quackel's first time attending nationals. And then, like we said, also robotics. They got third in state at their last competition, and they made it to the World's competition, which will be in Houston, Texas, which is a massive accomplishment. So it's important to acknowledge that. And then sports, we've really been struggling with the weather recently. We've only had one outdoor track meet, and a lot of the games have been canceled in softball and baseball. However, it's important to note that softball's off to a great start. They're 6-1 right now. A lot of those being conference matches, so that's very, very good start to their season. And then track, Claire Walker, she gained a school record, jumping 10.3 at the Ripon indoor meet. Last year she made the outdoor record 10 feet, and now the indoor is 10.3. So that's for pole vault. And then upcoming, we have prom in about 2 weeks, I believe. The theme is a night on the Bayou, so juniors have been planning that. And then seniors, we're just getting ready to graduate. We got senior recognition night, and about a month left until we're out of here. So that's what I got today.
Thank you. Can I take an opportunity just to remind the board or maybe solicit the board? Many of these activities that we've seen in the students that benefit also benefit from the foundation dollars, the Ripon Area Foundation, Ripon Education Foundation, right? So I know the scholarship drive is done or was done Friday, but they are, we are still taking donations. So I would encourage you all to consider it in the dollar amount because it supports a lot of the things that we see here, teachers and students.
Thanks, Denise.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is the prom plan?
So not me this year, it's up to the juniors, but I've talked to them a couple of times because I know last year Mrs. Yoder, she ran the prom, but this year it's Provieta. She'll be running it. So we have ID working with us, they'll be setting up for the prom on May 2nd. Grand March is at 4, and then the dance is 8 to 11 at Ripon College. It's all the same as last year, just again, the junior girls have been doing it. But no, I think everything's getting organized and it's going very smooth, so they're gonna start selling tickets, I believe, this week for that. So we're excited. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, Emma. Superintendent reports.
Yes, so legislative updates, I was hoping to have something to share, some good news to share about special education funding from the state level. It's just nothing has been official yet. There is some anticipation that we may have had an update, we just don't have one as of today. Still feeling pretty positive, but keeping fingers crossed about that. That will certainly help our budgetary situation. And then the second piece tonight, so we were expecting Mike Hacker from Cadence Consulting to be here. He had an emergency come up at about 4 o'clock this afternoon and apologizes that he can't be here today, but he's gonna plan on being here next board meeting to be able to engage with the board. What we do have, and I will pass these around, so please feel free to take one. And we're gonna project it up for people at home who are watching and the people in the audience who are here. just to talk about the timeline and working up to November for what we anticipate to be our operational referendum timeline moving forward. So if you are looking up there, we are in March and April, and that is our strategy time, where we are working on talking about how to communicate our referendum, how to gather input from our staff. You'll see that staff engagement piece. There's an internal team from our administrative team, which is comprised of myself, Jonah Adams, Emmy Jess, and Jesse Johnson, and Lori Mockmuller has helped us as well. We've already presented to 2 of our 4 brick and mortar buildings, and we'll be presenting to the final 2 in the beginning of May to gather their feedback and start the education process. So that's where we are currently. After we engage our staff, if you look between May and June, you'll see up above where it says pre-referendum planning, it says community survey. So we'll be asking our community to help prioritize what is important to them. And using that feedback will be instrumental in helping the board come up with a resolution language development that needs to take place by August statutorily. If we're gonna bring forward a referendum question, that's when it takes place. And so that's why you'll see at the end of August there where it says school board resolution, the deadline is late August. And then should the Board of Education create their question, and then our final job in, I would say, the beginning of September through towards the end of October, is to engage and communicate and educate and help people understand the why behind what we're doing, in addition to what the question is, what our priorities are, and how it's gonna help our system continue to provide the quality education that we provide for our community right now. So, very brief overview, and then election day is November 3rd. That would be the culmination when we get the ultimate feedback from our community. And I would say, and I'd invite Jonah or Emmy or even Lori to add, so far, our 2 presentations have been, I would say, met very well, and we've gathered some good feedback around what staff at 2 of the sites feel are high priorities for us to maintain and protect with our referendum. So, I don't know, Jonah or Lori or anything that you'd like to add to that so far? Got it. And I know Mike Hacker is sorry that he can't be here. He's gonna make plans to be here in May. I'll speak for our team with regard to our relationship with Mike. He's been a great thought partner. He's provided us with a lot of great insights in the referenda that he's worked on previously. And we feel confident about our partnership and working in a strategic and intentional way, and more importantly, in a very transparent way, to communicate and educate the community so they can make the most informed decision possible come November. So, yeah. Any questions or anything from the board about the timeline or other pieces that we spoke about? Okay, got it. I would say, so 7.3 is community engagement. The majority of our conversation was centered around the referendum and strategic planning. Just to remind everybody, our strategic planning committee is going to come together in September. I've started making some phone calls based on recommendations from a lot of people to start building that team, and hope to have those people confirmed before the end of April or at the beginning of May at the latest. And we're looking to have about 25, a combination of 25 community members, parents, et cetera, in addition to our 9-member board and our administrative team. So that is the plan there. We spoke a little bit about those two things. Anything else out of community engagement that anyone wants to add? Okay. And then the finance committee, similarly, we had some great conversations about next year's budget and about some potential adjustments to some of our protocols and how we talk about how we ratify the budget. And we're gonna continue those conversations a little bit later this evening. And we also talked briefly about the referendum coming up as well. Jonah, anything else that you'd wanna highlight from the finance committee?
I think one thing would just be our food service RFP closed. We've got, I think, really great news that we can stay with Aramark, keep our meal prices flat, continue to offer free breakfast, and have a balanced budget within the food service fund. They have submitted a proposal that's about $77,000 cheaper than what they are, the rates that we currently have. And then federal reimbursement rates should go up more than 3%. And so the combination of those things, I think our food service fund is going to be in a great place to continue offering free breakfast next school year and have a balanced food service fund budget. And then the other things I think we're going to kind of get to later in the agenda. I don't know if we, yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. I know, thank you for bringing up the food service aspect, Jonah, especially the piece about free breakfast. I know we had some previous discussions at the board level about wondering when those funds would run out and do we have to find a middle ground so we can continue longer. This RFP allows us not to have to make those changes, at least for another year. So it's exciting that we'll be able to continue to do free breakfast for everybody for another year.
What is the reimbursement rate now? Is it 3%?
The reimbursement rate, it depends on the student, but we're talking like $4.60 for a student who's free for lunch, and so we're anticipating that the rates per meal are going to go up at the federal level, and for summer food service program, we already have seen that they've gone up over 3%. So it's going to give us additional revenue besides the fact that our expenses are going to come down because they Aramark is charging lower rates for their breakfast and their lunches and the same rate for milk that they're currently charging now. So because they're going to charge us less and our revenue is going to be higher from the federal sources, we should be in a really good spot. So.
So the next agenda item is the school district calendar update reminder. I just wanted to make sure to remind everybody, because we had to cancel school on the 17th and 18th of March, that May 8th is now a school day for all of our kindergarten through 12th grade students. It is an off day for 4K, but on our original calendar it was a professional development day. Because we had that third snow day, we needed to make sure that it was a school day. So I wanted to make sure to say that publicly for everybody listening, so they remember as well. And lastly, the class of 2026 graduation preparation. If any board members are able, if you could share that so we can share that information with Mr. Kinzinger and make sure we give you the practice schedule, et cetera, to help out with the commencement ceremony, we would appreciate that. So if you haven't already responded to Mr. Kinzinger's email, you can certainly let me know and I can communicate that with him as well. But just wanted to make sure that we know who's planning to attend so we can accommodate.
Alright, on to new business. First thing is to consider approval of education for employment plan. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the education for employment plan as presented.
Second, Jessica. Any comments or questions regarding this, David?
It's a technical thing, just for Bill, his last name's spelled wrong.
No, we
Doesn't-
didn't mention
doesn't-
any
doesn't have that
names.
second.
Okay. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Anything else? All right. Let's vote.
I didn't get a button, that's why you're doing that.
I don't have a thing to vote.
Okay, let's see. David, did you?
Try joining the meeting again, I didn't have one, I just rejoined and I got it.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I'm there.
I see everybody voted. I don't see what the votes are yet.
All the names have gone black.
They've all gone black, but they don't have a. It passed unanimously. Just go on to the next one like normal?
Yeah.
Okay, next is consider approval of Ripon High School Graphic Arts course revision. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Tom, and a second?
I'll second.
Stephanie? Any comments or questions regarding this? Okay, let's vote on that. Same thing happened. Everybody voted, right?
Only 3 are showing down at the bottom.
Yeah, they all show up as black, but it's just, it doesn't show, and now I can see that everybody voted yes. So it carried 8-0.
The bottom is not showing that.
It is at the bottom of mine, yeah, Yeah.
Okay.
but it's not on yours. I'm just gonna go on to the next one, and if I have to keep going back, I will. Consider approval to grant permission to create formal plans for the greenhouse animal shelter.
Awesome.
Just a second, we're gonna put that, yeah. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Tom,
Second.
Chris? You can sit down. All right. Hi.
Howdy, everyone. My name is Sam Fincher. I'm the Agri Science teacher at Ripon here. Essentially, we are looking for action to move forward the next steps in building a animal facility and also a plant science learning center. Last week, the city approved rezoning of the land that we are looking at using for industrial, or excuse me, for institutional purposes, so that it could be built on that area. Everything that we talked about in the last meeting is applicable, and we're here to answer some questions, but there's some newer information. Our alumni, since that meeting, has decided and moved to put $75,000 towards this project, if approved, to help us get started. Additionally, I do have a student here who's gonna talk about how this impacts our agricultural students at Ripon High School and in middle school.
Hi, I'm Johnny. This greenhouse will provide so many new opportunities for not only the agri-science students, but also the science students. In agri-science, there's multiple classes that we take that involve plants. There's also an NFA CE team that would be very helpful to see these plants grow in action and see these crops come to life. Also, in biology this semester, we're doing independent research projects. It'd be great if we had the space for students to experiment with plants, like in a greenhouse.
What do you want to do when you get out of school?
I want to be an agronomist.
Just remind me from last time, there's going to be some fundraising involved too, right, and other sources in addition to the alumni.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And the goal of the alumni is on their own to do some more fundraising. The alumni really would love to get to that 6-digit number and put $100,000 down just towards from the alumni side of things. I know that's their goal.
And what do you anticipate total cost?
We broke it down into some more specific costs from last time that we had met. The last time we had met, we had put together a proposal, and it was between $400,000 and $500,000, which we still are going to fall within that ballpark. The specific proposal that we had put together with some more specifications with the action committee was $399,000, and I don't recall off the top of my head some odd numbers, so just below that $400,000 mark. As we move forward with this project, one thing to keep in mind with the board is that we are asking for a little bit of flexibility in planning, just because the approval that we're seeking tonight is to simply bring this forward towards the city. And as we start working with the city, there's going to be some things on their end that we're going to have to be able to tweak and manipulate just based off of what they tell us is feasible and is not feasible. For instance, one of the things that we have to look at is the drainage that is down there and where in that area we can build. So there's some things that we can tell you that are, for sure, but a lot of it is we have to be a little bit flexible in where we can do it, and with the specifications.
And do you have a timeline for when you want it completed?
So the timeline for when we get completed, right after we get approval, is to reach out to the city to start building that communication. Our overall goal and hope would be that we can get it onto their planning committee to vote on, hopefully within the next month or two. And then immediately after we get approval from the city to build, wherever they give us approval to do it, and whatever parameters they put around us, is to then start going and fundraising. Ultimately, the overall goal would be to have this in 2 phases. If we can get both phases at once, great, but if we only have the funds to do the first phase, we would proceed with the first phase for the school year of 2027-2028. And the first phase would consist of building the greenhouse plant science center side with the concrete slab underneath. The second phase would then be the animal side. Once again, if we can get that all done in the same year and we have fundraised that full allotted amount between that $400,000 and $500,000 mark, then we'll do both. But if we only have enough to do the plant science side of things, which is about half of that, $250,000 or $200,000 to $250,000, then we would do that phase and then the next phase the following year.
I think you talked about some maintenance plans too when we spoke last time, and I'm assuming that's gonna be built into the whole plan as you move forward from year to year with Brian's team, or, as far as just the maintenance part, mowing outside of it, or what, I don't know what it all might need.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that something that the students are going to be responsible for?
Yeah, that's something that Brian and I will collaborate and work with the maintenance part.
landscaping portion, that's certainly a part that the students can do to be able to make sure that the greenhouse is kept up and looking nice. I think some of the other stuff we'll work together with Brian on to collaborate, making sure like mowing and around is looking nice for the facility. Thank you.
And the only thing that I would add, and it's just not even to add, it's just to reiterate what Sam already said, is this evening is not about building or any of that yet. We're not quite to that spot. It's just giving them permission to formalize and draft the plans to be able to submit to the city. So there are multiple steps left. We're just trying to be as pragmatic as we possibly can and make sure we do things in step with the city and not get ahead of ourselves. So, thank you for this.
And I just wanted to add one thing, because I'm not entirely certain, but I believe that committee that met last week from the city they voted to approve bringing it to the common council for
Right, for a recommendation, correct.
Anybody else? Thank you. Again, we're considering approval to grant permission to create the formal plans. Not to build yet, just to have the formal plans. So you can vote. Did not help that for you.
The only one,
Yep.
I'm trying to refresh.
You can see that you voted, but again, let's see. Sorry, I've got to go back out again. And that was carried 8-0 as well. Precinct. Next item. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Consider approval of the revised 2025-2026 budget.
Yeah, so in April, we always take a look at where things are standing, with just a few months left in the school year and try to get our finalized revenues and expense budget, approved by the board. A lot of the things that happened throughout the year are already approved by the board, including the major one, which was changing our medical insurance. More than $600,000 of our savings came from that decision, which was made in the fall. And now we're just, looking at revised estimates of what are our expenses going to look like for the current school year. And so the budget revision has a net improvement of over $656,000. The deficit is projected at just under $90,000. It's very likely that we'll have a balanced budget by the end of the year because there are a few things that are going to happen at the end of the year that we can balance the budget. One of those things is that we're going to receive more than $160,000 of revenue from Fund 73, which is called an implicit rate subsidy. So if we need to balance our budget, our Fund 10 budget with that, we will. But if we can, we'll try to take that $160,000 from Fund 73 and then make a deposit right back into the fund to pay for future liabilities for retirees, to stay on our medical plan. And so I think we're going to have a balanced budget. Another way that we probably will have a balanced budget is that we have about $117,000 saved for our self-funded plan, which ended in 2025. I think we're gonna end the year, we're gonna have to work with our new audit team, but when we end the year, I think we're gonna take 100,000 of that 117 and probably reduce our previously shown expenses for our insurance premiums. And so either of those two moves, both related to medical insurance, would probably balance out our budget. But right now on the books, we're asking the board to approve this revised budget that shows about a $90,000 deficit. Some of the big changes also that were included in here, we're now recognizing $100,000 for a CCLC after-school grant. We've had so many breakthroughs with the DPI. Most of that is due to Ron's persistence and perseverance, just not letting go of the funds, and arguing with legal counsel to try to get those funds to us. Otherwise, it would have been lost. But we didn't previously recognize that revenue or the expenses because it seemed unlikely earlier in the year. And we've only really just had breakthroughs in the last few weeks. So now we're adding $100,000 of revenue, federal revenue, and then $100,000 of expenses for that grant. So that's part of the budget revision. There are lots of other little adjustments that are made throughout the year, including one was reducing our interest revenue from our bank interest down by about $25,000. I think it's a conservative estimate to reduce it by $25,000, but also interest rates have fallen, and I think it's more likely we're going to get to $160,000 of interest earnings rather than $185,000 that we originally had budgeted in the fall. So there's lots of other little adjustments if you look closer at the budget revision. So I'm going to stop there. One other thing was Fund 39, our debt service fund. Just acknowledging the actual payments, the principal payment that we made in March was a little bit higher than we had budgeted earlier, because we had some interest earnings in that fund as well that we applied toward the principal. So those are just some of the updates. If anybody has any questions or comments, please let us know.
Thank you, Ron, for your tenacity. It's nice to have better news about the budget at this point in the year.
Thanks.
I agree with you 100%.
Do we have a motion to vote?
I'll motion the budget,
Jessica?
Second, Denise.
Denise. And call for a vote. And that carried unanimously. Let me see. Next item. Consider approval of the preliminary budget for 26-27.
So last month we showed what the preliminary budget would look like. Since then we've had a couple adjustments. We kind of get probably every month adjustments as we go through October. Every month there's new things that happen. Either new people are hired, new funding announcements come out, all kinds of things happen. But since last month, two things have come out. One was the federal revenue budget amounts for special education and for title grants. The federal revenue for next year is going to be a little bit lower than the current school year, about almost $24,000 reduced in federal funding. Wisconsin received less funding from the federal government for next school year. And then the other thing that we thought was kind of interesting was Math Corps. There became an opportunity that Christy brought to us for Math Corps tutors, 2 Math Corps tutors to come to our elementary schools. $16,000 of total cost for the elementary schools, and to have a tutor in math, and so we were pretty excited about that. And the way that we're accounting for those changes, the less federal revenue and less or more increase in expenses with those tutors is to do two things. One, we reduced our budget for inflationary increases for utilities, transportation, et cetera. So we kind of carved into that a little bit. And then the other thing is that we reduced Ron's superintendent budget to account for the rest of it. So to try to make those adjustments for the lower federal revenue and the increased expenses for math work. So.
Any questions?
Yeah, can Chrissy talk a little about math or tutors?
Sure. We are very fortunate to currently have two reading corps tutors employed in our district. The math corps tutors is a relatively new program. Our reading corps is currently funded partially through a grant through DPI, so it actually is a free service for us through that partnership. Because Math Corps is relatively new and we are already partners, they actually reached out to us to see if we would be interested in providing some math tutoring to our elementary students as well. Currently, we have one very part-time math interventionist just at our 3-5 building. So the opportunity to be able to add these tutors at a very relatively low cost is such a huge benefit to our district. And we were really excited to be able to offer that as well. Again, Math Corps, Reading Corps are very well-known organizations that lead off of research-based evidence to interventions, and we have seen some tremendous growth from our elementary students, and I've just been really fortunate to have that partnership. So we're excited to expand that to math as well.
So how much are they able to do? I mean,
Actually,
just hours and
yeah,
things like
they
that.
are here, we have them here on a full-time basis, honestly, so they are pulling kids. In terms of reading, I know that our focus has been primarily with kindergarten, and they are now starting to do some work with first grade, which has really allowed our RESD interventionist employees to really focus on that second and first grade. And then we've expanded the reading corps services to our third grade students over at Murray Park, who have been instrumental in really helping with our personalized reading plans, because we have, students who have been designated for those, and again, the services that they provide are just top notch. It's been a really great opportunity for us as a district, and we've certainly benefited from that.
Dave, I'm sorry, David, the other thing I would add too is, so when we were asked, we needed to make a decision quickly, because if we didn't take advantage of it, it would move to another system. So I really want to credit Chrissy for advocating and bringing that to us, so we can get 2 full-time people for a steal, literally. $16,000 for 2 people is just too hard to pass, for sure.
Are these college students?
They are not actually, the Reading Corps or AmeriCorps, who employs reading and math tutors, it is an actual application process. So they recruit, the tutors that we have in place are actually local to Ripon. So they are community members that actually work with our students, get to know them. It's pretty cool. And they go through a very extensive training, like they have to learn how to implement the interventions. It's a very rigorous training process. So again, very fortunate to benefit from their services.
Anything else? Do we have a motion to vote on this?
I'll make the motion to approve the preliminary budget.
Thanks, Denise. Second?
I'll second
Chris? And we'll vote.
show up, because as soon as I clicked it, it said, it told me to resync, but then the buttons went
It
off.
turns black.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we'll see when I go back to it, if it's there.
It says you voted. You're the only one that said no.
Carried 8-0, 8-0 again. Next item, let's see this. Consider acceptance of professional staff resignations. Do I have a motion for this?
I'll motion.
Jessica, second?
Second.
Tom? Any questions or comments? We'll vote. Everybody voted? That passed unanimously. Next item. Consider approval of the 26-27 full-time professional staff contract renewals. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the full-time professional educator contract as presented.
Thanks, second,
I'll second.
Chris? Any questions or comments? We'll vote. That carried 7-0 with one abstention. Next item. Consider approval to hire professional staff. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Chris,
I'll second.
Jessica? Okay. Vote. And that carried unanimously.
That's you.
Next is our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve our consent agenda?
So approved. I'll second.
Tom, second to Chris.
Can we pull a couple things out of the consent agenda?
Supposed to do that. at the
We were supposed to do that, earlier in the meeting.
Okay, I just had some little questions that I had emailed out.
Okay, yeah, it had to come out at the beginning when I asked if there was anything you wanted to change in the agenda.
Oh, sure. I just wanted to follow up on those questions I had about the policy 5330. Were you able to talk to Dr. All at all about that?
So we checked with our district nurse, but she had some training today, so I just didn't get a chance to hear back on that one. I did send you an email about the rescinded one, did you see that one? Okay. I don't have a
Is
clarification.
that something that we can revisit later?
Yeah. I
It,
don't
it can
know.
always go back to, we can always go back to policy at any time.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You can vote. That carried unanimously. Consider approval of curriculum materials adoption recommendation for the Ripon High School Math Department. That is, let's see. That's possible, upcoming, that's new. Chrissy?
Sure. Last month, when our curriculum committee met, I had alluded to the fact that I would be bringing a recommendation before the board, and here it is. The high school math department, I met with them, had the opportunity to meet with them along with Mr. Kinzinger, and we are recommending a switch from Savvis Envision Math, which is the program that we are currently using, to a company called Mathematic. They actually have been piloting Mathematic throughout the course of this school year and have a lot of great things to say about it. I've actually seen it in action through the learning lots that I have done. As I noted in this recommendation, one thing that we are really looking to do is truly align our practices to the work that we are doing with conceptualized thinking and along with student discourse and things like that throughout the district. And we found that Mathematic really closely aligns with the practices and processes that we are using not only through Bridges Math at the elementary school, but CPM, which we are using at the middle school, and now carrying a lot of those similar practices into the high school. We had found some success using Envision Math through Savvis, but what we found with that program is that it simply did not provide the student engagement opportunities and the opportunities for discourse that we had really hoped for. We found that the teachers were supplementing a lot of the Mathematic lessons through Envision as it was, and they are just really excited about the opportunity to be able to adopt this resource, which actually was created by high school teachers who have used it, and we're really excited about what it has to offer.
I have a question. I know previously there was some conversation, I think it was about getting rid of Algebra 2 and taking like something else and making that Algebra 2 class like a combination of two other classes. How does that impact this?
Yeah, currently, well, this is on for our course book for next year. We have that opportunity where we are bringing that transition to college math back. That was a class that we had previously offered. And again, the thought was because we had some students that were really struggling with that core content of Algebra 2 across that course of that year, it was an opportunity to spread it out. We are hoping actually through these courses, and then also we talked about potentially more of a trade-based math course that we are going to be able to offer too, that eventually that transition to college math course would be able to be weeded out. This is kind of a temporary solution for now to address some of the issues that we've seen with the students who are currently struggling. but eventually our goal certainly would be to eliminate that transition course, so that the kids would actually have more opportunities to be able to take courses that were more applicable to what they intend to do post-secondary, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
As a matter of courses, do you get any reimbursement for AP materials?
We
Advanced
don't
tests
for
and
AP
nothing for
materials,
AP
no,
at all? Okay,
no.
I wasn't sure.
We are excited because mathematic courses, they are aligned and approved through College Board too, so we would be offering the AP stats, the AP calculus course also. The content, like I said, is approved to be taught through the national board, but unfortunately, no, we do not. We certainly encourage it because, of course, we want to be able to offer those opportunities, but I actually I just met with a representative from UW Oshkosh and talking about some potential opportunities to also offer some CAP math credit courses to our students. Currently, the challenge with that is that in order to teach CAP credits, you have to have a master's degree. So we are looking at opportunities for our math department to potentially pursue that. So again, looking for ways to expand our math curriculum and make it applicable to what the students choose to pursue.
Anything else?
Is a 5-year agreement a standard?
It is, typically that is the cycle for new material review is typically 5 years. There's also a multi-year discount, so it's always beneficial to do multi-year if we can. Yep, but I appreciate the question.
Okay, next item. Curriculum department highlights for April.
That is also me. As our student council rep alluded, we have just been immersed in all kinds of state testing, and we did our early literacy screener. So this month has been extremely busy, last 2 months actually, in terms of state testing. We are excited to wrap that up actually at the end of this week, and I think we will all be breathing a sigh of relief because it has been super busy. The other thing that we have been really immersed in is summer school. The flyers just went out last week, and registrations are coming in very, very rapidly, and that's exciting to see. We are excited about our course offerings. I know Murray Park is actually going to be offering more of a similar summer school option, similar to what Barlow Park is offering, which is more of that camp style. So all students will be part of some academic math and reading as part of the camp experience, along with some enrichment opportunities throughout that morning session. So we're really excited about that. Continuing to offer some of our sports camps. We had to do some heavy recruiting on that, but we are excited to be able to offer those. And then continue our partnership with Boys and Girls Club through transportation to get kids over there after summer school as well.
Any questions? General fund interim budget report.
Just kind of fly by this really quick. March is one of the high months for our cash balance. We've had, through the end of March, we had about 15.5 million of revenue and about 12.9 of expenses. So it's a good month on when you look at net revenue at the bottom of the document. When we look at the food service fund, the food service fund had a net loss of almost 77,000 at the end of March. However, since then it's come closer. I think the last time I looked at it, it was a net loss of about 44,000. We're expected to get around 62,000 roughly, something like that. Like I said, really excited about the proposals that came in from Aramark. And next month we'll have the school board finalize that and approve whoever the next vendor is. But Aramark was the one that offered us the lowest cost bid, projecting that we would actually have some net income in our food service fund next year because the expenses are gonna drop so much. So, really excited about that.
Anything else about the food service at all? No?
Is it worth noting,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, from the finance committee, you mentioned with the food staff, the food service staff, is that worth mentioning?
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing. There were 4 companies that bid, and 2 of the companies had no increase in staff wages. One of them actually had multiple staff members that would have seen a decrease in income. And so we kind of thought those were just not even up for consideration. And then 2 of them that did offer increases, one of them was Aramark, one of them was Chartwell's. But Chartwell's expenses were gonna be significantly more than Aramark's. And the school board will look at some more of the details next month too. But that is something we did talk about in the finance committee, because that was something that we thought was maybe the second most important, was what they did with their staff wages, so.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Next, we will consider adjourning to executive session.